So this is a powerful tool to improve your reflective practice as a crisis supporter. As a crisis supporter, I didn't really have clarity on what to improve when I first started. Don't get me wrong, I had heaps of great support from my ISS, from my supervisors, but I just knew that I was better, like I was capable of more, right, than what I was currently doing. And it's extremely painful when I would get hung up on, or I would make some kind of a mistake that I could sense that I did something wrong, or I said the wrong thing or something, but I wasn't sure what it was. And it was a lot more painful when I was certain I'd made this mistake before, right? And it's like, oh, maybe that person could have just gotten better support from somebody else. And it was just such a painful experience, and so that's what forced me to change. I used to journal a lot. I used to write on scrap pieces of paper, reflective practice, and still I had a lot of, even with that, these papers eventually were very messy, and there was a whole bunch of them. I used a book, I used a notebook, and nothing really just was good enough, honestly. It was helpful, it was great to do that, but it was just still very frustrating to not know which note I made when, about what, and to try and find that I'm trying to find patterns, right? I'm trying to find patterns in my thinking, in my assumptions. It was just very tricky, and it was very painful. Until I found Notion. When I found Notion and started using it, that's when, and it's free, it's just absolutely crazy to me. When I first found Notion and I started using it, then my work just became so much easier to reflect upon, and to organize, and to surface themes and all that kind of stuff, right? So this video is a very beginner introduction video to Notion. It really is just like the level 1, right? So if you're already familiar, probably don't worry about this video. So let me show you. Now you can use it as a document creation, right? So it's literally just the same as Word, right? It's a little bit different because you get to move stuff differently. You can do headings like facts and feelings and make them into columns. Alright, so it's just your standard like page creation type of thing. I don't know why this is, there you go. Facts, lost the cat. Feelings, grief. You know, so you can just use it the same way that you would a piece of paper. Why are you acting so silly? Oh, there we go. Lost the cat, grief. So you know, you get the idea, right? You can just use it as a standard document, and this might be like notes from shift. Now, just please keep privacy in mind, you know, so just be smart, be an adult. Okay, so use it as document creation. Now, what you can do as well is make a page so that it's just your standard page for a new document, right? And you can also drag these boxes into the page you just made. Okay? Notes from shift. So let's take that and stick it here now and get rid of that heading. Cool, right? So you can see kind of the power of how simple it is to move stuff around and create nice pages, and then you can organize those pages in different ways. Another example page with more notes. Maybe make this one a reflective practice page. Reflections from shift. Okay, I fell out of control. And then, so you can see, similar to the other things that we were moving around, you can move pages around in the same way. So it's a really handy document creation tool. This was helpful for me because I might say I have this glib sense of apathy I can't get rid of lately. Not sure what's going on. Ever since I started the late night hours, I guess. Okay, so that's just reflections after a shift. I'm just kind of spitballing random example, okay? So, what you can do, which is very helpful, is you can actually search. So you can see here there are other examples. Like this is from within my database, but reflections from shift is surfacing. So you can actually search. It's a searchable journal. When you click on it, it pulls up and it highlights the line. So it's a journal that you can search, right? Which is like very cool for whatever reason you want. Now, this thing, it gets crazy. But wait, there's more. This is just literally chill. You can also make databases for your pages. And this is where it gets really, really crazy, okay? So let's have a look. I'm going to do an inline database. I'm going to call it journal, right? So that's the name of this database now, it's journal. And here is how we're displaying the data, right? We're displaying it as a table. We've got the name, and then we've got one property this way. So the data only flows in this direction, right? It doesn't actually flow in that direction like Excel. You can make the data go in both directions, but that's not like that on Notion, so it's a little bit weird to get used to, but you'll get used to it. So we can create some tags, because now that we have this database, we can actually turn these entries into taggable data. Okay, you can literally just drag and drop it, stick it in there, and now you can tag whatever you want. Now this gets crazy. I'm telling you, it gets damn crazy. Let's do another one. I'll show you what I mean. We can make, because if we're tagging our own reflections, it's going to help us in the future if we want to observe themes, if we want to find patterns, if we want to learn about ourselves, which is what we're obsessed with. We're obsessed with learning about ourselves. So let's do compassion satisfaction. If you don't know what compassion satisfaction is, it's basically your HR department's next obsession. Right? Let's do these twinkly stars. Sorry, that was a silly response. Compassion satisfaction is the opposite of compassion fatigue. It's the feeling of warmth that you get when you give someone a present, or when they read a letter that you wrote them, a really, beautiful, well thought out letter. It's that feeling. That's the gold star of what we're aiming at in this work. We want this. We want those 5-star compassion satisfaction shifts. So what happens is, if we have rough time today, a shift where we notice that, maybe we do the Gibbs reflection cycle, right? So what happened? So it's like, describe what happened. And then what feelings came up? Evaluate above, analyze, conclude, and then action. What will you do differently? Alright, so say we have this Gibbs reflection cycle, and we take ourselves through this after a shift, right? What happened? They lost their cat. What feelings came up for me? Sadness, grief, powerlessness, loss. It was really surprising how strong the feelings were. Analyze it. Why? What I didn't think I'd be so emotional about a lost cat? Reminded me of Billy, Billy, my childhood cat. Spare you the gory details about Billy. Conclude, I think I have some work to do letting go of guilt about Billy's death. What will you do differently? Probably reach out to supervisor soon. Reach out to supervisor soon, and maybe journal more about Billy and my childhood, and maybe trying to remember the joy we had. Right? So, had a rough time on shift today. That was a 1-star shift. In terms of compassion satisfaction, I was like, ooh, rough. And it knocked me out and I was just off my game, right? Can you see? Over time, what's going to happen is you'll find patterns and themes are going to appear as you collect more data. Can put date as well, would be really handy, right? It would be really helpful to know that information. So let's say that rough time was today on the 19th, and let's say that reflections from that shift was on the 6th, and then this one was on the 8th last month, and this one was on the 19th last month. So the data's a little bit messy. Do reflections, just giving a quick example of some, another shift, big day at work, and maybe just something like, quick, just an example. I had an argument at work before shift. Probably shouldn't have come straight to work, but actually found it to Lifeline, to volunteering, but actually found it surprisingly helpful to settle in and take my eyes off myself. Right? Just whatever you want, obviously. This is just a test. So now what we can do is we can order the information by the date, okay, most recent, and what we can do is filter the information. Let's say we only want to see all of the shifts that have a 1-star compassion satisfaction rating. Or maybe we only want to see all of them that have a 5-star compassion satisfaction rating. And if there's quite a few shifts over time, it's going to be very easy to catch themes and learn more about ourselves, right? Say, for example, you've done this a few times now. You've made quite a few entries, and you realize that you keep making the same type of entry, right? This is where it gets crazy. Like, as though it's not already crazy, this is where it gets just unbelievable. You can make templates for your pages, okay? Reflections. What happened? Why did that not do the thing? Oh, there you go. Feelings, variation. I'm looking up over here at my other screen, obviously. Conclusion. Actions. Cool. So I've got a new shift. I've just finished. I want to do another reflection. Now I can just click that button. And there it is. It's the template that we just built. Right. So afterwards I could say that one was lots of anger. Could make a new entry, multi-select, call it themes, domestic and family violence. Okay, so now we have themes, loss, right, so now we have themes that we can further correlate and gather more insight around. And we've got this template here. If you wanted to, you could just take it another step further, and you could do Shift Start to do. Just have like a bucket of things. Self-care, Shift Start, self-care bucket. Just pick one, right? Do a call out. Pick one of the following. Give it a little icon of like a, I don't know, heart or something. Pick one of the following and then make it T, breathing, mindfulness, breathwork, stretch. Right, simple as that. Shift Start self-care bucket. Shift End. Do the same thing. Your favorite strategies. Just duplicate this. Drag it down over to here. And do something like walk the doggo and go swimming. What else? Change your environment, stand in the sun, listen to music, you get the idea. So now when you start a shift, you already have whatever you want set up. So I'm going to start my new shift. I've got my untitled on there, I forgot to name it. So I'm going to call this shift practicing templates. And simple as that. Got today's date. Started my shift, I think I'm going to do that and that. Don't feel like stretching. Right? As you can see, there's multiple different types of data in here now. We have reflections, and we also have shift kind of notes, or start of shift or end of shift or whatnot. So what I would actually do in practice is separate them out so that there's multiple, you know, you've got one database here, you've got another database here, you can make them talk to each other and make them smart. It's really cool. That's what I've done. I've built a huge system for crisis supporters to do their reflective practice. So I don't have anything to announce just now as of dates and things like that, but keep your eye out, saidwithcourage.com, jump on the email list for updates. I hope this was worth your time. It's basically a powerful tool, and yeah, I hope that it helps you fulfill your mission basically and just get better at these skills. The world needs much better listeners. So everyone's clamoring to be heard, but who's there to listen?